Hi, good day everyone. So in this video, I'm going to discuss how we're going to create constructors and also how we're going to retrieve the answers from another class and also how to create a method and also define its return type. Okay, so first let us have our main class. So class main class. Okay, so it could be anything. It could be uh, based from your preferences or anything that is required for you to name it. So for me, since this is just an example, so I'm just going to name our main class as main class. Okay, so let me save this first and then make sure that it's saved as that Java file. Okay, and then main class. So the name of my class is main class, so I just put main class as its file name. Okay, so I'm just gonna save it to our desktop. Okay, so now we have our main class. So inside of the main class is the main method. Okay, so this time, so I'm going to print something. So system.out.println, let's say enter your name. So I'm just going to ask the user to enter his or her name. Okay, so in order for us to get the user input, so we're going to use a class named scanner. Okay, so in order for us to do that, on the top of our file, we're just going to type import. So this is a keyword. So import java.util.scanner. So meaning to say we're going to use another class from the Java package, which is called the scanner. So that's why the keyword here is import. So we're going to import a class from its library. Okay. So scanner class is used to get the user input. So it halts the process. Uh, it halts the process and accepts the user input. Okay. So that's it. Okay. So we're just going to create an object of class scanner. Okay. So scanner. So we're just going to type scanner and then the name of the object. Let's say SC. So it could be anything. So for example, ABC or anything. Okay. So but for this, since the name of the class is scanner, so I'm just going to put SC as its object name is equals to new and then scanner. And then inside the constructor of scanner, so this is a constructor. We're going to put system dot in. Okay. So now we're all set here. So we're going to use SC to provide a function called um, next line. Okay, so here we're just going to create a new variable string. Let's say the name of the variable is name, and then here we're going to use the method next line from scanner. So sc that next line and then semicolon. Okay, so let's try this one. Let's try to run this code. So cd desktop. I'm just going to change our directory to desktop since this file is saved in our desktop. So we're going to change the directory into desktop and then type java and then the name of the class main class .java, and then hit enter. So there's no error, so we could run this. So Java main class without .java file extension. Okay. So once we hit enter, it would ask our name. So enter your name, sc dot next line. Okay. So for example, we have here John. So once you hit enter, okay, so it doesn't have any more instructions to execute. So that's why it ends here. So let me change the position of the scanner. Okay. Say for example, if we want to add more details. So for example, enter your first name and then first name, let's say F name, and then surname. So we're just gonna copy paste this one and then change uh, the name of the variable, since we cannot have the same or a duplicate name for a variable. Okay, so let's just name this variable into s name, and then let's display the full name. Okay, system.out.println, we have here the f name plus, let's put a space in between f name and s name, plus s name, and then at the end is the semicolon. Now let's try to compile this one, and then it doesn't have an error. And then when we try to run it, let's say we have the first name as John, and then enter your surname is Smith. So the full name is John Smith. Okay. And then if we want to add age, for example, we want to add the age, enter your age. So we could create another variable of type int is equals to age is equals to sc dot next int. So as you could see, the method used for getting the name as a string and getting the age as of type int has a different method. Okay, so for string we have next line, for integer we have next int. So if you're dealing with float or double, definitely there are also a method for those type of data types. So if that's float, so next float. For double, it's next double. But in this case, we have int. So meaning to say, we're going to get the integer value that is entered by the user. Okay. So let's try to move this at the top. And then we have to display again. So system.out.println your age is, and then concatenate age. Okay, so let's try. So let's compile it. So it doesn't have an error. So once we run it, so enter your first name John, your surname Smith, enter your age. So let's say 20. So once we hit enter, John Smith, and then your age is 20. Okay. So if you're going to create another class, so you just have to, well, of course, Control N, or just create another file and then save it as, say for example, So it should be on the same folder. Okay, so we have here, let's say, sample class. Okay, so class, sample class, and then let's create a constructor. So here uh, I want the sample class to process our uh, first name, last name, and also the age. Okay, so I'm going to create a constructor here. Sample, oops, sorry, sample class, and then this constructor would accept the a string fn. So for the first name, string sn for the surname, and then int for age. Okay, so here we have to create a field. So let's say we have here the string uh, first name, and also the surname. Oops, it should be int and then age. So these are private, and also this one should be private. Okay, so after that, we have to assign a value for first name. So first name is equals to fn, surname is equals to sn, and then this that age is equals to age. So I'm going to explain this keyword maybe at the later part of our course pack. Okay, so we have here a constructor of sample class, and then let's have a method that would display this this three information. Okay, let's say we have the string public string get info. Okay, so I'm going to um, display no, sorry, I'm just going to build a string for first name, surname, and then age. Okay, so we have string and then info is equals to your first name is, and then plus sign for concatenation, first name. Your last name is, so let's put a space here, is surname. And then your age is, then concatenation, age, and then semicolon. So this is just a one line. It's just too long for a sentence, but it's just one line. Okay, but in here in my screen, it looks like there's another line for your age is age. Okay, so but definitely this is just one line. Okay, so next is to return the info. Okay, so once we call this get info with a return type string, it would build a string Your first name, then first name. Your last name is surname, or sorry, this should be surname. Surname is surname, and then your age is age. Okay, and then we're going to return the info. So info here is a string. So meaning to say, it matches the return type. Okay, so if the return type is a string, you have to return also a string type of variable or a string type of data. Okay, so how are we going to use this get info? So from our main class, we're just going to uh, delete this part of our code, and then we're going to a create an object of sample class. Okay, so let's just put it in here. So just like in scanner, we're going to create an instance of the class sample class. So we're just going to write sample class, let's say s class is equals to new sample class, and then here in our constructor, as you could see, so here in our constructor, we need to put a string for first name, a string for surname, and int for age. So it's just like this. Okay, so we have to move this part at the bottom, since the information that we need must be entered by the user first before we put it inside the sample class constructor. Okay, so the f name, so here the string fn should come from the first name from the main class, and we have to get the user input using the fname variable. So here inside the sample class, we're just going to put fname, and then separated by comma, so meaning to say we're done with the name of the variable, string sn. So we have to put the surname here. Okay, so s name, and then the third one is the age, and then semicolon. So after getting the information from our user, we're just going to call the get info from the sample class. So how are we going to access the get info? But of course, you have to use the object name, which is the s class from the sample class, and then put a dot and then the name of the method, which is get info. Okay, so this is the how we're going to call a method from another class. So s class, so that's the name of the the object, dot, and then the name of the method from that class, get info. Okay, so that's it. So meaning to say, we're going to use the get info from the sample class through the help of the s class object name. Okay, so since this is just a string, so meaning to say we were able to get this string value here, but we weren't able to display it on our terminal. So this is what I'm talking about. Let me show you how it works. So in compiling your programs, since you have two classes here that works together, so you have to compile the main class and also the sample class. So there's one way or two ways in order for you to do that. So Java main class dot Java, and then Java sample class .java. Okay, or you could also use java asterisk java. So I mean to say all the files with a .java file extension would be compiled. Once you hit enter, so both all of the .java files are compiled. Okay, so I'm not sure if this would also work. So java main class .java pipe and then sample class. Let me try this one .java. Okay, so I think it doesn't work. Or let me check. Okay, so just a space, not pipe. So once you hit enter, okay, so it works. So there are three ways for you to do that. You could compile it individually or use an asterisk, a wildcard character, to compile all of the files or .java files. Or you could use java main class.java space sample class.java. So I mean to say the both classes are separated by a space. Okay, so this should be a capital letter. So sample class.java. Okay, so let us try to check if this would display the output. Java or Java main class. So since the main method is from the main class, so we're just going to run the main class. Enter your first name, John. Enter your surname, Smith. Enter your age, let's say 20. So it doesn't display anything. Though we get the info from the S class, doesn't display anything. So we just need to use a system.out.println. So system.out.println. So since the sClass.getInfo returns a string, so it's just like this. Uh, it's just like this class. Let me show you. So sClass.getInfo is equivalent to your first name is first name, your surname is surname, and your age is age. Since the sClass.getInfo returns an information, and that information is this string info. Okay, so the return keyword here is used for returning the result that is given from the get info, returning to the class that calls its method, which is the main class. So we call the get info method from the sample class through the use of the S class object. Okay, so let's remove this. Okay, so since the sClass.getInfo has a value of your first name is first name, your surname is surname, your age is age, therefore, if we're going to print this, we have to enclose it inside the system.out.println. Okay, and let's try to run it again. So we have to compile it again since we made changes here in the main class. And then to run it, just run the java main class.java. Okay, so java main class. Once you hit enter, enter your first name, say for example John, and then enter your surname is Smith, and then your age is 20. So your first name is John, your surname is Smith, your age is 20. Okay, so that's the example implementation of two classes And then here we have the constructor, and then we use a method to retrieve the data inside this fields or instance variables. Okay, so that's all for now. Thank you for watching this video.